Hey Viewers, welcome back to the channel. It's a girl Vermo, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today guys, I'm going to be reacting to the real Dana. If you haven't seen any of my reactions to her videos, click the link above. And this is breaking. Fani Willis office accused of misconduct again. Again? What exactly is going on with Fani Willis? Like, I thought we've had enough already. So what exactly is this? What exactly is going on? Alright guys, we're about to find out. But before we get started, we have some amazing people watching us for the very first time. If you are new to the channel, I am Vera. I do reaction videos. If this is something that you love, why not join Vera City? Use the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that guys, let's get started. Man up.
Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor.
Law firms will take this as a retainer.
What? It must be a law firm where they hungry as hell. Now you gonna help me with this parole I'm dealing with?
Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor. With one taste of our premium blends of all-natural ingredients, herbs, and spices, you'll fall in love with meat all over again. Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce collection is made up of 2 zesty flavors, original and spicy. There's only one way to bring order back to barbecuing. Just add Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce and seasoning, and you be the judge.
Nice.
We get a lot of intel daily. Thank you, Miss Pamela. We get a lot of intel daily. Thank you, Ellie Pink. Gotta have her back on because it's a lot of shady stuff coming out of Fulton County. And let me just say this: if you are in where you live at in your county, you feel as though there's corruption going on, send me an email and we'll get you on the show to talk about it.
Wow.
Because Fulton County is not the only county in this nation that got a lot of corruption. But the reason why we're talking about Fulton County, because Fani Willis, honey, she done turned the criminal justice system upside down.
Wow.
I wanted to bring this up. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis wants disqualification ruling to stand. The Georgia Court of Appeals has until mid-May to decide whether it wants to review the disqualification ruling. The Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is asking the Georgia Court of Appeals to let a ruling stand that allowed her to remain on 2020 election interference case involving former President Donald Trump and other co-defendants. After months of questioning, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee ruled in March that Willis could remain on the case if Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade stepped down. The disqualification hearing occurred after Wade and Willis' romantic relationship came to light. Following the order, attorneys for the defendants started a process to appeal the ruling. So Willis filed a motion in response to the defense team's request for interlocutory review.
Interlocutory, in other words, I told you that will happen sometimes in these cases like this where everything gets locked up until the appellate matter gets resolved. The case doesn't go on.
Right. So she's arguing there are no grounds for the Court of Appeals to grant a review of McAfee's ruling.
Actually, he did something very interesting, Judge McAfee. I told you about it then when I said read between the lines. In other words, he denied the defendant's motion to kick Fani off of the case if she got rid of Wade. That's part one. But what he put in there about her lying, he called her mendacity, which means lying. And he talked about her disbelief or lack of credibility and everything else. He set that case up for the appellants to proceed with a great chance of success. So in other words, it's like you're the judge. It's like at this point, you know, something stinks to high heavens. Let me kick this upstairs to the next pay grade. I'm setting it so they get a chance to look at it. Okay, guys, there are 9 of you, maybe 3 of you on the initial panel. Get at it. This is what it is. So that's how you do these things. You don't have to get it that way. It's sort of like when you got a football game and all of the referees and the umpire, they get together and they review the replay tapes to see what's going on after maybe somebody threw a flag down and somebody wants over. Let's see what happens. This case is so messed up. It's like if it goes all the way to trial and you've got a finding by the trial court that the prosecution lied, they deceived the court, they were engaged in chicanery, fraud, they violated their ethical standards, and the list goes on for a long way. It looks pretty bad. And the other thing, too, is she offered to gag the prosecutor so she'd keep her mouth from running off at churches and stuff and tainting a jury panel hopelessly, which she still hasn't stopped, even though her state Democratic Party asked her to shut her big mouth. She's still running it.
Well,
It's like, what are you going to do? You've got probably one of the most glaring cases in the country, and you've got such an enormous store of misconduct building up. What are you trying to do? It becomes obvious that a lot of people who originally were on your side say, wait a minute, something else is going on. This just isn't right.
I want to play this clip.
What is this?
County District Attorney's Office wants the Georgia Court of Appeals to let a judge's disqualification ruling stand.
That's right. So this ruling is what allowed DA Willis to stay on the election interference case against former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants. 11 Alive's Grace King, she has been digging into this case for us, and tonight she explains what this could mean.
On Tuesday, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis defending a trial court ruling that lets her stay on the election interference probe.
Whenever a petition is filed by a defendant, the district attorney's office has the right to respond, and that's all they did today.
Former President Donald Trump and several of his co-defendants want Willis off the case and the indictment dismissed altogether. That's why they filed a request for interlocutory review with the Georgia Court of Appeals.
If they choose to hear it, they then would likely hold oral arguments as to why the law was improperly applied. That could take several more weeks, possibly even a month.
If that happens, Emory Law School professor John Acevedo says the appellate court wouldn't look at new facts or new witnesses.
So whatever witnesses said, they're kind of stuck with. And we'll now look to simply ask the question, was the law applied properly in this instance? And that, since it becomes much more of a legal argument.
In her filing, Willis explained why she felt that legal argument wouldn't be necessary. She wrote the Court of Appeals should deny that request because the present application merely reflects the applicant's dissatisfaction with the trial court's proper application of well-established law to the facts.
Court of Appeals very rarely overturn trial courts on these matters. We could see that in the district attorney's response. She pointed out that deference is usually given to the trial courts unless there's clear and erroneous error.
The court has until mid-May to decide whether to review McAfee's ruling. In Fulton County, Grace King, 11.
You know what? See, the tragedy to this whole thing is the woman's so stupid to not realize that she ought to bail for self-preservation reasons. She's gotten in so deep in the goo right now that she's in not only danger of losing her law license, she's in danger of being put in jail herself.
Wow.
So the more this stays on the record, the worse it gets. And she apparently doesn't have the sense through her narcissistic view of things to shut her mouth.
Wow.
It's like you've got a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used in evidence against you. Shut up.
Right. And
with this folk.
Well, Mr. Harrison Floyd, he filed a motion against her for the wiretap.
Oh, yeah. And then that, too. She was trying to get cute with this. There
is no one thing I love about Judge Joe Brown is the fact that he says things as it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. Like, can you see what he said? He was like, can you shut up? Like, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He says things the way it is, and I love that about him. Fani Willis is a complete disgrace. It's pathetic. Let's go on.
In Maryland, it's against the law to tap, well, not a tap, it's against the law to record a phone conversation or a conversation without permission of both parties. Mammy Fanny went ahead and did it, and then she published it, and that broke the law in Maryland. So since it was across state lines, now you got a situation where there's an interstate warrant demanded right here. She's broken the law by her own admission. Yak, 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 yak. Shut your mouth. She didn't.
Oh.
Right.
So,
And so
now he's got a situation where one of her defendants has a strong case on her. In fact, a stronger case against her than she has against him. It's like, what's the matter with you?
I don't know if she even answered to the subpoena with the congressional committee with Jim Jordan. Didn't he subpoena her? So it's a lot of legal things that's against her, right? That is going on. At the same time, you still supposed to be trying to prosecute not just Trump, but 19 other defendants.
Oh.
You know, and you want to stay on this case.
And see, two of these defendants, they're lawyers, and what they did was so out of line that it really wasn't part of what everybody else did, but she included it, and they took a plea bargain rather than getting more serious offenses that would have come out what they did independently of the other group. So you've really got 17 defendants in here, and you've got weak cases against them, and you're trying to get in the back door with some lowered standards of proof because you're alleging essentially a conspiracy and RICO activity. But the problem is proving it. It's kind of hard to claim somebody is engaged in RICO activity, which is supposed to be criminal activity, as a primary source of income, when what they're engaged in is ordinary politics. And essentially what you have here is an allegation that someone who is dissatisfied with the outcome of a political proceeding is saying, hey, something's wrong here, and demanding an investigation, further proceedings. And what does the First Amendment say? The right to assemble and petition for the redress of grievance shall not be abridged. And this is essentially a petition for redress of grievance that has resulted in some Mammy Fanny Bozo up here coming up with a set of criminal charges because somebody just followed what they have a right to do under the law. And the other thing is their language that's supposed to be so intimidating. That's kind of like listening to these goddamn fools you have right now who say, oh my God, it was inappropriate the way he spoke to the child. Well, what did he say to the child? You better get in there and do what I'm telling you to do. Well, okay, what did he say wrong? Well, that's it. Have you lost your mind, fool? And now we are dealing with a fool. Look at what she's doing. What did I say? You get a willing wench. If she does well in the bed, put her on the third floor bed wench. When she gets to know everybody and she starts getting gray at the roots, then you make her a mammy and put her in charge.
You don't think that, you always use that term. You don't think that you constantly saying that is going to give the wrong impression of black women? You use
it should, of this kind. See, this is a scoundrel. This, what I'm saying, is not an impugning of women because they are black. It's impugning a disgrace to anything like this. If she were male, it would be subject to castigation.
Wow.
This is a disgrace. And that's all it is to
A
it.
disgrace.
And unfortunately, the disgrace fits into a pattern that's several hundred years old. I cannot get it out of my head when 50 plus years ago I was working with a DC think tank and I'm reading these slave pamphlets about using these same methodologies to get black mammies to sit there and control the slave populations on large plantations. That's what you're seeing right here. The same party that ran things back then, the Democratic Party, is doing it now, and they're picking mammies to run minority communities and trying to run everybody else. Stacey Abrams, Mammy Fanny here,
Letitia James,
Beetlejuice 2.0, aka
I mean, and you do have this the
Lori
mayor
Lightfoot,
Walton.
the whole 9 yards. You even get the ones with swinging dicks like Al Sharpton and what's his name, Cory Booker.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with special taste.
Yeah. Speaking of Al Sharpton, I'm gonna bring that up a little bit later.
Boy.
He got his was it National Action Network conference is going on. It started yesterday.
I'll talk about him. He's nothing but a pimp. Pope.
Whoa, Fani Willis. What is that woman? Like, what is she doing? You know, Judge Brown totally spilled the tea in this. Like, he didn't even sugarcoat anything. He said the whole thing the way it is. And Fani Willis just keeps running her mouth. Like, why can't she just keep quiet? Like the whole mess going on. I'm surprised that she's still out there talking. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the fact that she's even a lawyer, she's meant to be smarter than this. And now they're saying this whole allegation can cost her a law. You know, she might not be able to work as a lawyer anymore. And to make things worse, she might be taken to prison. It's really sad. I don't even know what to say at this point. And she's trying to play the victim card. It's just crazy, all of this. What do you guys think about this video? Drop your comment. I'd love to hear your side of the story. I'd love to hear your point. Do you agree with Judge Joe Brown? I would love to know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and please share this video. If you're new to the channel, join Veracity. Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.